So, this might be an unpopular thing to say, but I do enjoy reading David Icke's X posts, or are they called Zeeks or tweets? I don't know, X posts. And this one in particular is one that is quite critical of Alex Jones. Now, I am not saying this in this sort of facetious, oh, David Icke isn't. Actually, I listen to everybody, okay? And there's some things that I find myself in agreement with. Yes, there you go, unsubscribe. Just kidding. Of course you're not. Stay with me. So, David Icke, in response to this post, I'm not going to play it, don't want a copyright strike. Alex Jones put out something about Elon Musk's plan to colonize the moon and Mars is critical to the future of humanity's survival and consciousness. And so he's on his InfoWars show. And let's go to David Icke's comment on this and the reason why I'm mentioning it in the first place. David Icke is essentially talking about what I say we need to do all the time, and that is to zoom all the way out. The system is still the system. I approach these things not with a conspiracy mindset, but with a systems thinking, systems practice mindset. And that is to take in all worldviews, look at the entire situation. And that's why I'm not here cheerleading for any politician or any side, because the system is still exactly the same. The players are just different. Their masters are the same. So anyway, David Icke says, I don't know. Whoopsie. I just hit my mic. David Icke says, I don't know what's happened to this guy, Alex Jones, but he's become Musk's biggest kisser while continuing to claim he is alternative. Tragic. What he says here about Musk is so self deluded. Where do you start? Everything he says about the globalists is where the Musk Trump psyop is taking us, by a different soft sell route using different rhetoric and excuses. How can he not see that? It's extraordinary. He believes that Musk is running SpaceX, Pentagon slash NASA, brain chip Neuralink, autonomous vehicle Tesla, and all his other companies, while being a frontman sales pitcher for the real controllers and technocratic drivers ticking off their agenda. Human is a brief experience for consciousness. We are consciousness, not human. This reality is simulated fakery to seize control of human perception and self identity. The brain is like a virtual reality headset, decoding simulated information into a physical holographic illusion, like a computer decodes Wi Fi, as I detail in my book, The Reveal. To say we must build new civilizations on the moon and Mars is to say we must free ourselves from the perceptual prison cell by traveling to another part of the same prison cell, the same system, as I say. Whether you call it prison cell, world, universe, what, it's still the same. Back to David Icke, it says it's all a diversion to make you think this simulated reality is real, that the universe is what they tell us it is, and to hold the line at you are human instead of you are an expression of infinity, consciousness, entrapped by its attention, focused on illusion, believing it to be real. Gosh, it's like poetry. I love reading poetry. I miss it. Should I do that as well now? Used to. Moving on. Get off your knees to the Musk God, Alex, and the Trump God. You have become a parody of alternative by your unquestioning allegiance to these Pied Pipers. And the same with all the others: Rogan, Carlson, Brand, Peterson, Weinstein, Poole, Rudkowski. There are now so many, and what has happened to the alternative is indeed tragic. And in terms of freedom, very dangerous. So, again, the reason why I'm reading this and the reason why it resonated is because when we need change, and there is change. We can be so over the moon. Suddenly there will be a fix. And I've said this before, especially after my commentary and analysis about Trump's win. I've said this before. A lot will need to be promised during campaign time. And as we are seeing now, Trump, whatever his intentions, whatever his objective, whatever the agenda, Trump will face obstruction at every step of the way, pre inauguration, post inauguration, during his administration. We can already see his picks being picked at before they've even been confirmed. So there's going to be more of this. There's going to be more on the world stage. So the world stage has not changed. The players are different. Can they influence things? Can they shift things? Of course they can. Of course they can. But are they able to shift it enough for us to not go into another war? For us to suddenly experience a better living and a better lifestyle? You see, this is why, and my previous video on the issue with personal development and the spiritual industry, this is why I don't necessarily have a guru, or I don't necessarily bow down to any writer or pundit or journalist or opinion maker. And the reason is because they cannot be absolutely right. They can't. And for us to think that this one person or this one party or this one ideology or this one belief system is going to provide us with everything without us doing any of the work ourselves, without us doing any of the rational, critical thinking ourselves, without us endeavoring to challenge assumptions, our own and others. Come on now. Come on. So that's why I wanted to read this post by David Icke. It resonated because, again, it's a reminder things have not completely changed and shifted. But what we are seeing is this sudden fangirling, fanboying, cheerleading of this clique of very charismatic, different types of people who were mostly Democrats before, who are now part of this administration. Hopefully, they wish to be confirmed. And there's this sort of like, oh my God, they are the Avengers. And it's great social media. It's a great strategy. It's working. But why are we suddenly now in this place where we are seeing them and this as being the thing that will save us all? And you see, when you are in a place of scarcity or you are in a place of struggle and you're not doing well, anything like imagine you're in the desert and you're just wanting a drop of water. That drop of water from that flask will just be like divine and heavenly, and you're going to love the flask. The new flask is giving a drop of water, but this flask isn't the only flask, or this flask is not the answer to everything. So it's really important that we continue to zoom out and think. So what do you think of this and David Icke's statement? I would love to hear from you. If you haven't already, please do sub, like, comment, and I'll see you in the next one.